Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I'm on my final video for the Deloson series. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint up a miniature to be the boss, because every dungeon needs a boss. Not every dungeon, but many of the dungeons need a boss. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to get a little bit of tape here, in case I want to use any speed paints or oil-based things. I have some cardboard here. So I painted him black and then hit him with a dry brush of white so I can see all the details. This was a Hydra Infiltrator Hero Click, and you notice he's wearing kind of like some kind of dress uniform of some sort, but it's old-fashioned and it doesn't have any tie or anything like that. I had a couple other candidates. I had this guy. He was missing a hand, and I didn't feel like fighting with it. And another one that, I don't know where I put it here. This gentleman here, he has no tie. He's wearing some kind of army uniform. I can't remember what the miniature is. I threw the base away. But basically, this is the one I decided to use. Because he had sunglasses, I'm going to turn those into some kind of green spectacles that he uses to see, you know, bigger information. So, I want to do him in a dark color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that dark blue-gray. If I can find it. There we go. I get a small brush. This is that Army Painter starter brush. I'm going to get a little bit of this paint here. I'm going to get a little bit of water. I'm going to thin that out pretty good. I'm going to start painting his clothes with that thin. Real thin blue-gray. I originally thought I was going to use pavement, but I don't know if I want to go quite that dark for my base coat. And I don't know if I'm going to do his pants and shirt exactly the same color. Haven't decided just yet. Part of me wants to. So now let's talk about the head librarian. And a little bit of lore of how the Library of Deloson came to be. So in Tomorrow Comes Doom, gods only stay in power for 5,000 years. They didn't know this in the beginning, and no one knows why that is. I know why that is, but the gods don't know, and the players don't know, and nobody knows, really. But the first gods were like dark. They like torture, and they forced people into subjugation. And they ruled the world with an iron fist. And they were overthrown after 5,000 years by a group that took over that were super nice gods. They were forgiving and loving and just let people do what they wanted. However, in Tomorrow Comes Doom, God's power is based off how many people worship them. So for a period of time, maybe within that 5,000 years, the dark gods can be stronger because they're worshipped more of the light gods. So anyways, the second gods were just too weak, and they didn't exert any control over the people and didn't have any expectations of the people. They didn't actively interfere in the world, and after 5,000 years, dark forces took over power from them. And then those dark forces tried to subjugate the entire world and create a unifaith, but then they started fighting amongst themselves, stealing followers from each other, and power was waning back and forth. There were really no good gods. So the third iteration of gods was overthrown by mortals that rose up and took over. And those gods are the current gods. They're the fourth group. And the fourth group has done their 5,000 years almost. They don't realize this except for one of them, the goddess of cycles. She does realize this. She's the goddess of the moon and cycles, and beginnings. She realizes it's time. The rest of them are trying to pretend like it won't be time if they don't let it be time. Pardon me. So, the Deloson library is where all recorded history the gods have is. And this guy, the head librarian, is one of the gods left over from the dark gods that were thrown over, because somebody has to be at the library. However, even the new gods, who are pretty good, aren't perfect, and they know he's evil. Yet they leave him here in charge of this library. And for the last 5,000 years, while they were in power, he has been going out and giving magic books to people. And these people are called lore keepers, and they touch the books to stuff, and it steals information from the things they touch, whether it be a monster or an old building or a historic site or whatever it is, a person. It steals information from them, and regular mortals being touched by this can actually die from it or be put into a state where their brain doesn't function. And the head librarian is actually collecting the majority of that energy and only refunding some of it back to the lore keepers. And he's planning here at the 5,000 year mark to try to overthrow the gods. However, an overthrow requires at least 12 people to take on the positions that keep the world going, like making the sun go, the moon go, stuff like that. Crops grow. So even if they're good or bad or whatever it may be, these jobs still have to be done. Not optional. So anyways, he's been biding his time, waiting for this moment. This color is called Blueberry Frost. And I'm going to get a dry brush to do this. I'm going to get a very soft plastic bristle brush, something like that. And I'm going to hope that this color, Blueberry Frost, can do what I want it to. Give him a blue tint. Yeah, it looks like it can. So one of the party members in my group is a lore keeper. And years ago, when she was young, a man came to her claiming to be a librarian of Deloson. Gave her this book and told her that one day it would give her knowledge. And now she's starting to unlock the ability to control the book. She's become so powerful through the book that the book's no longer calling to him and granting him power from her and her endeavors, and he knows it. At the same time, he can leave the library through a secret way for very short periods of time without the gods knowing. But the minute he leaves for too long, the creations in the library that work as the librarians start to destroy and run amok. Without his presence, they become free to do what they want. They become free-willed. And even though they can't leave the library because they'd die if they did, they kind of do what they want to do. The library starts getting torn up. Eventually the gods notice. So Homeboy has to get back to the library sooner than later to prevent this kind of madness from happening. Now the next color I'm going to use is sky blue. Or I think it's called sky blue. No, yeah, sky blue. So anyways, he knows. They've also, one of the party members has made a deal with Menstrua, the goddess of the moon and cycles and stuff. And they have a child together that he has no control over and no say in. And he can't really see his child or be part of it. But she knows that the cycle's about to end, and she is trying to reproduce, hoping that her offspring can become part of the new pantheon so that she's protected. So she has lured the party member unknowingly into a deal to have a child with her, so she has somebody who is not, going to screw her over when the new pantheon takes over. And apparently, when this baby is born, it'll be born as a full-grown adult. Well, this dude knows that this chick that he gave the book to is getting powerful and could be a potential aid. So since the secrets of how the gods have transferred power and who's done what and how things have worked over time are kept here, he has let it slip by taking the form of a trusted NPC and going to them as that NPC and telling them about the Library of Deloson and how it could cure another party member's wife whose brain was wiped from being touched with the book. So they think they're going there to save the party member's wife. The truth is she probably can't be saved without a miracle or a wish. And they're not going to be getting any of those, it doesn't look like. I'm going to do one more light coat on him. And I'm going to do this one real fine. I'm using China blue. And I'm going to be using it in the most, just tiniest doses. So they're all going there, and Minstrua, the one character's secret godwife, who he never had a marriage to, but she claims he's her husband and the mother of her child. She thinks that he's powerful and that he'll be able to protect her. And their new baby. And the whole party's powerful. Even though in my system it's called legendary, they're what you would consider at this point to be epic characters. And the wife is the minstrel's wife. The one who lost her mind, that they're going to try to save. She touched the minstrel's wife with a book during a situation where the minstrel's wife was starting a fight with an old lady, who the old lady was actually in the wrong, but they didn't stop to investigate that. The old lady was turning into a young woman and manipulating people because she's a witch. But anyway, she touched the young lady with the book, the wife. Mind wiping her, they're going to save her, they think. But again, the information was leaked by the head librarian, so he could lure them to the library, tell them what's going to happen about the power, and try to get them to join him in creating the new pantheon. Now I'm going to grab pavement. I'm going to touch his shoes up with that. Do his shoes with that. So they'll figure it out. I was going to do a video on the puzzle for this dungeon. All I'm doing for the puzzle is I have some transparent counters, which are like bingo chips. And I'm going to glue beads on those, spray paint them black, and then paint each bead a different color. And those 12 beads are going to have a main color and a sub-color. And they're going to represent the images only in color of the gods of their current pantheon. Because each pantheon, for some reason, has had the same themes for each god's symbol since the beginning of time. It just changes the individual who's being celebrated as that role or god. And they will have to take the old gods that they're learning about in their library and put them on the right spots where the new gods go in the pantheon to unlock the forbidden book section where they think they're going to find the answer. But it's really going to find him waiting for them. And they'll either join him and become dark gods. Well, he wants them to be dark gods. They might not choose that path. Or they say no, and he kills them. So we're going to get some barbarian flesh here. Just a little dibby dab. Get a nice point on my brush with my mouth. And I don't care if I paint the glasses because, like I said, I'm going to come back and do those again. And if I get a little bit on the beard, I'm not going to fret it either because I'm going to come back and paint that too. So the librarian has the powers of the books, of the lore keeper books. but he doesn't need a book to manifest them. So he can touch you and steal intelligence from you. And essentially, for a period of rounds, make you useless, where he can control you, or you'll do something random. You roll a 1d6 or a 1d3, I should say. 1 would be that he can control you. 2, that you're completely useless. Or 3, you're chaotic. And you roll to see who on the board you're going to attack. You assign everybody a number, and you start attacking that person angrily. Now, the library has some specific rules. And if you break those rules and you are knocked unconscious by one of the librarians at some point, you will see him also. Because if the librarians slam attack you and knock you unconscious because you've tried to steal something from the library or do something bad to the library, Homeboy here will turn you into one of the librarians. Okay, I want to get a really small brush, and I want to get an off-white color to mix. I'm going to use mummy robes. Let me get a little dot of that on my paper here, my cardboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of that barbarian flesh and a little bit of that mummy robes. I'm going to mix a toned down color. Then I'm going to get another small brush. I'm going to tone that down a little bit more. Oh, that was way too much. A little bit of that mummy robes goes a long way. Okay. Wipe a lot of that off, and I'm going to catch. Okay, something like that. All right, get that brush down. Then I'm going to hit this with a hot air gun, and we'll do his hair. So for his hair, I'm going to get a light to medium gray. This is called elephant gray. I'm going to get my small brush back out. I'm going to get my brush wet with water from my water cup. Spread that around nicely on there. Get my elephant gray. And I'm going to carefully do his hair. What a weird sculpt that has no ears. It's like the hair is a helmet that overlaps the beard. Oh well. I didn't notice it till I started painting the hair that there were no ears. Because I was like, oh, I better do the ears. And then there was no ears. Okay. We'll dry him off. then we got to do those eyes. Now, there are little lines for the size of his glasses. I'm going to be ignoring those. So I'm getting a really tiny brush. And this obnoxious color limeade. And I'm coloring what would be the lenses of the sunglasses he had only. Like that. Then, I'm getting a darker blue-green color. This is called Laguna. I don't use this a whole bunch. Then I get in there, and I'm going to do a dot. Just a little bit above the center and drag it. Okay, so they're a little, you can see they're green. And then we're going to do the base. Cleaning my brush up, put that back in the rack. Get my burnt umber. And I'm only worried about doing the dark part of the base, or the 3D, like raised part of the base where I put some baking soda. If I get a little bit on that black outline, that's okay. You're probably thinking, oh, he looks a little too pastel and light. He does. We're not done. We're not done. Remember I said about using washes or speed paints down the road, and that's why I put the plastic tape on my thing. I actually like white masking tape better, or red masking tape, really. But I have not yet gone to the store after months of saying I needed it to get any. Hot air gun burning. I'm gonna get a medium brown. Oh, not that one. Okay. I'm going to hit that again. And we're going to do around the outside of the base with black to clean that up and make it look sharp. Now you could be done right here. You could be completely done right here if you wanted to. This looks all right for the tabletop. It's not bad at all. Not professional by any means, but plenty good enough for the D&D table. Especially for something you plan on using one time. I mean, I could use it again as anything, but, you know, or somebody could use it as a PC monk or something down the road. Whatever. But I would like to darken those robes back up, or those clothes back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a hot air gun and dry that black paint. And then I have a color here called Runic Gray. I'm going to get an admirable sized glob there. And with a clean, damp brush, I'm going to do it first on the pants and see if I like it. And if I want to do more on the upper layer, I'll do more. If not, I'll just leave it there at the pants and call it a win. Well, I think that's the color that works nice for that. But I don't think I want to do the upper body that way. So what I think I'm going to do is finish my pants. And that. I'm going to do the upper body in a different color. So that was Runic Gray. I'm going to do my upper body in Cloudburst Blue. This is a lot darker than I wanted to. I should have sanded it out a little bit. I wasn't even thinking. I've used this quite a bit, and I knew how dark it was going to be. Okay. I'm going to hit a little piece of that fabric back there. That is a lot darker than I wanted. You could, he's a little dry to do it now. I was going to say you could toilet paper dab him to bring that down. I'm going to do a little something on his head here real quick. I got to go upstairs and bring the new contrast paints down. I had like the new Mega set. But I don't have anywhere nice to put them. And I'm weird about stuff. Some of you might be weird about stuff too. Okay, we're just about done here. So remember, the head librarian's special attacks are that he can touch you and drag away intelligence. He can grant himself and allies bonuses to either defense or attack and damage with physical attacks by telling your secrets, or it could be magic attacks, but he can either grant defense against you or bonuses, defenses against you, or bonuses against you to him and his allies with the intense knowledge he has and the secrets, everything about your race or your class or whatever it may be. He uses this ability kind of like a archivist in 3.5 from the Heroes of Horror book to boost what can and can't be done. So let's get a little bit of clear glue here. Okay. I'm going to get a toothpick. And I know he's going to be a fight inside of a library, but so that I can use this miniature kind of everywhere, I'm just going to get some green flock and do up his base. Okay, let's put some of these brushes away and then we'll take a look at them. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, speaking of, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all that happy crappy that makes the channel grow and makes the algorithm think that it's good to watch. I would really appreciate it. And the people that want me to keep doing this would probably appreciate it a little bit too. So, also, come to the website, buy some miniatures if you'd like to. If you don't, that's fine too. But at least check them out. They're good miniatures, and I'd like you to at least see them. So go there and look at them. And even if you don't want to buy any or you can't buy any, I know a lot of you are in other countries where I just can't send them to you because the shipping costs would destroy how cheap the minis are. But go check those out. Come to our Discord, hang out with us. We do, I play Tomorrow Comes Doom, a very loose, easy version of it on Saturday nights mostly. I have one game going. I've had to skip a few weeks because of holidays, but I'm going to be back to it this Saturday. Come play with us. It's going to be fun. There's a little character creation guide there in the channel that teaches you how to do what you need to do. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm going to make a short video upstairs on how to run the different situations in the library of Deloson, and then that'll be it for this series on Deloson, and I'll start the next dungeon I have planned. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.